Welcome back to Frugalman Outdoors. Today I'm going to rejuvenate an old toy wheelbarrow that my mom actually made a planter out of. You see the holes in the bottom here? Years ago when she had her flower bed, this would actually set up in the middle of her flower bed and she had some stuff growing in it. And this was also inspired of me by a friend of mine who's also a content creator, Chris and Chris Outdoors. Thanks for reminding me I had this. Anyway, he did something similar to this. He had a new one. This one here, I'm going to rejuvenate an old one. I'm going to put some paint on here, make it a little bit more alive. I picked up a few succulents from the discount area of Lowe's, and I have a couple succulents that I trimmed from another succulent plant that I have laying here on the property. Also using some old leftover paints from other projects. So stick around and we're going to paint this up a little bit and then put some plants in it. First, I'm going to get the excess dust and dirt off of it. That way the paint will stick. That's good enough. Now, I'm not going to make this perfect. It's just going to be a quick spray job. Just enough to help protect it and bring it back to life. I think what I'm going to start with is the yellow. I'm going to make the handles yellow and this rim yellow. Always make sure you shake the paint up real good. I notice that handle's twisted. Let's see if I can twist that back. There we go. I've had this knocked around quite a bit. This was left to me after my mom passed, and it's been in and out of my shop. I never put any plants in it, so that's why I want to bring it back to life. There we go, that's straight enough. Now, there's no particular reason why I picked the yellow and the red and black. It's just the colors I had, so that's why I'm going with what I have here. I don't know who painted this the first time. It was probably my mom. Maybe it was my dad. I really don't know. They were living about 4 hours from me. When I showed up one day, this was in their front yard. Actually worked better than I thought. I'm gonna try the same thing on the other side. That worked out pretty good. Okay, we'll let that dry a few minutes and we'll come back and put a coat of red on the wheelbarrow itself. Stick around. Okay, so I have a piece of cardboard. I'm going to try to use it to protect the yellow when I spray the red. And we'll see how it works out. It's over here. Yeah, I got a little bit on my yellow there. I'll have to touch it up. No big deal. Like I said, I'm not going to make it perfect. Try this out now. Obviously, I'm not great at spray painting, but it looks all right. Okay, now I need to touch up where I got the red on my yellow. Okay, now I need to do the inside of the wheelbarrow. I'm gonna go around the other side of the table here. Now, since I do have plenty of paint, I'm gonna go ahead and get a pretty good couple inches down into the wheelbarrow. But I do want to protect my yellow. I already made the mistake once, messed that up. Okay. Of course, what's spray paint without getting a little bit on your hands? Now, this idea doesn't only have to be for wheelbarrows. You could use like old toy dump trucks and all different kinds of stuff. Little buckets and anything that will hold a spot of dirt. You could add character to a small flower bed. I've actually seen people use old bed rails and make what they call a flower bed, and it looked like a bed except it was full of flowers. I believe that's going to work. Now I'm going to do the black on the handles and the supports down here. I need to allow this to dry just a little bit so I could get it over on the other side. Okay, I'm back. This is pretty much dried. It's still a little tacky to touch, but I'm going to try to, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to paint the wheel only, the tire part of this wheel only. So I'm going to try the same method I did with painting the yellow with painting the black. See how it works out. That worked out pretty cool. I did get a little overspray on it, but it's not bad. I'm gonna do the other side now. I'll get these out of the way. Give it a spin. Well, it looks pretty good, except I got a lot of overspray on this side. I'll try to touch it up. That looks good. I'll leave it like that. And I got a little bit of the yellow on my red again. I'll touch it up. There we go. Alright, now we're going to try to paint these legs. We'll also do that in black. I have slots cut in my cardboard to protect the wheelbarrow itself. And we're going to go like this. Okay, now we'll do the other side. All right. Quick touch up of the red. That's as good as it's going to get. Oh, a couple spots on the yellow over here. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect. It's just touched up a little bit out in the yard. Help protect it from the weather a little bit. So we're going to let that dry and we'll come back in a few minutes and then we'll put the plants in it. Okay, while we're waiting for this to dry, I'm going to set it aside and we'll show you something else I like to do. What I have here is a bucket that I picked up off the side of the road. I mentioned that in one of my previous videos. I don't ever buy 5-gallon buckets. I find them on the side of the road all the time. And then I got a couple scoops of decomposed cow manure. Now, it's pretty lumpy. I'd rather not try to use it the way it is. So what I have is a sifting box. Now this is an old box that was made, actually I believe my father made this one, but we've made several of them as I was growing up. It's a small square made out of 1x2s, 1x3s with some 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch mesh on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a tray and set it down, put the sieve box in the middle, and I'll take some of this manure, shake it down in there. Now with this sieve, what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the large chunks from the small pieces. Makes it a whole lot easier to work with, and I like it. Just shake it back and forth, and as you can see, the smaller stuff is falling through. Also, sometimes the bigger pieces will drag back and forth across the screen and break up and get smaller on their own. But I'll shake it down, shake it down. As you can see here, the chunks are leaving just the large pieces. All small pieces are going through it. I'll spin that around and shake it a little bit more. It's almost done. Well, there we have. What we have left are large pieces. And right here we have fine sieved out manure. Now as far as what we need, I'm going to put these large pieces in the bottom of my wheelbarrow, and then I'll top it off with the fine stuff. So let's go ahead and get the wheelbarrow back out. Okay, so now I'm ready to start putting my plants in here. What I'll do is I'm going to take the larger chunks of the manure, shake them down in the bottom. And I'll straighten them nice and flat in there. And then I have my succulents. I'm going to take this large succulent and I'm going to set it right in the front. Right out there. Like that. I'm going to take this one slightly smaller. I'll set it in there also. Now this one here has a lot of dry dead leaves around the edges, so I'm going to prune those off before I put it in there. That way the good green leaves are the only ones that are left. I'm trying not to damage the root bed while doing so. So I got these in the Lowe's clearance area, so some of them were pretty beat up, but I got the best looking ones of what they had. I don't ever like spending full price on plants. I try to shop in the clearance area all the time. So there we go. I'm going to add this one in there. And now to the small succulents that I had from another pot that I have on my property. Now these ones here, I don't know what they're called. I don't know what any of the succulents are called, but these ones here are pretty cool. I just broke a few pieces off that have some roots, and I'm going to set them in there. I could take these large chunks of this compost, manure, and push down on the roots to hold them in place. Just like that. Take some larger one here. Whoops, I threw that one right in the middle of it. Try to shake that off. There we go. Try that again. Don't want to put it on top of the sucker. I want to put it around the sides. There we go. Now I'm hoping that these take very well, and it'll be an addition to our flower board or maybe in the garden. I ain't quite sure where I want to put this yet, but I knew I wanted to bring this back to life. Like I said, a fellow YouTuber, content creator, made one out of a toy, and it inspired me to bring this one back to life. So thanks again, Chris. And there we go, almost done. One more scoop. I'll put it on this end. There you go. Give it a little shake, maybe get it leveled off. There we go. And there we have it. Let's take a closer look. Okay. Now we have this antique toy wagon, or excuse me, wheelbarrow, that once was a planter, is now a planter again. And it's got succulents in it. Like I said, everything here was done on the cheap. Leftover paint. Wheelbarrow that was left to me by my mother when she passed. And then the succulents on the inside, I got those out of clearance. And then, like I said, I saved these small ones here from an old home site. So let's go ahead and move this over to where the other plants are. There we go. It's up here right next to the hibiscus plant. I think it looks good where it's at right now. And we decide to move it later on. We take a walk around the yard and decide where we want it. But as of right now, I think that's a good place as any. Well, thank you for joining me on this little build. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. We'll see you next time.